us together or tear us apart. But you know what never disappoints?
Shawarma?
We're making what you're craving, Osmos.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
None of you people can tell me
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Welcome to Allstate. Here, we know you have a few reasons to slow down. But we've got one more. Safe drivers save 30% with DriveWise. The safer you drive, the more you save with Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
This broadcast of Canada Soccer's national teams is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands.
The Summer of Soccer has a sensational lineup. Beginning July 4th, Canada's women's national team looks to qualify for the 2024 Olympics. The 2022 Canadian Championship Final will determine who will lift the coveted Voyageurs Cup, while the Canadian Premier League continues its march towards October's playoffs. All this as Canada's men's national team continues preparation for the World Cup in Qatar. This summer, one channel, one soccer.
CanadaSoccerStore.com is the new home for official Canada Soccer apparel and fanwear, including customized national team jerseys. Back to Mexico we go. It's game 2 for the Canadians in the Concacaf W Championship, and tonight they take on Panama. Coming off a resounding 6-0 victory over the Soca Warriors, Les Rouges look to continue their dominance. They already find themselves in a win-and-you're-in situation. They get full 3 points, they're guaranteed a top 2 finish in the group, and a trip to the 2023 World Cup. As we welcome you inside our One Soccer studio, you're watching Matchday Live. Hello, everyone. Andy Petrillo alongside two-time Olympic medalist Diana Matheson and One Soccer senior analyst Oliver Platt. We've been saying all along that this is a tournament that acts as a qualifier for 3 events. One of them being the 2023 World Cup, which will be held in New Zealand and in Australia. And the Canadians already find themselves in a really good position to punch their ticket to next year's tournament as we bring you the standings. Now, Costa Rica, they just played earlier tonight. They beat Trinidad and Tobago 4-0. They're topping the group. Canada, though, with a full 3 points and a win, those 2 teams are guaranteed top 2 spots, which means they're going to the World Cup. But that game on Monday will be interesting to see who will actually place first. Group A, as you can see there, United States continuing to do what the United States does, but a nice battle going on between Haiti and Jamaica for that second spot. Mexico, host nation surprise, dropped their first 2 games. They are out of qualifying for the Olympics. They have a slim chance of finishing 3rd, which they can go into an interconfederation playoff and try to get a spot to the 2023 World Cup. Let's look at Canada's opponent, though, Panama. They began the calendar year winning their first 4 games. So on Tuesday, when they lost to Costa Rica, that was their first this year and also their first loss in 7 matches. So curious to see what this opponent will bring here tonight. But how do you think Canada should approach this?
I think same as last game. This game is really more about Canada than it is the opponent. Bev Priestman switching up the lineup a little bit because there's 5 games in this tournament, but it's the same things. Canada's going to be focusing on its partnerships on the field. Again, putting goals in the back of the net, and they will care about the goal difference in this one to make sure they're ahead of Costa Rica's total.
Yeah, and just getting over the line in terms of World Cup qualification, right? That's the big target on the line tonight, and I know it's the minimum expectation for the women. This would be 8 World Cups in a row. We know they expect to be there. But it's still exciting to put your name in pen on that list of teams going to a World Cup, right? And, you know, if we can achieve that, then you're looking all of a sudden at Men's World Cup in November, Women's World Cup next summer. And for the foreseeable future, this country on the men's and the women's side is going to qualify for the World Cup, you know, with the way the men's tournament is expanding. So it's exciting times. And, you know, if you think the last 12 or 18 months has been good for Canadian soccer, I think it could get even better going forwards.
I mean, listen, check mark done. If they could pick up the win here tonight, why worry about qualifying for a World Cup? You've already done it. Now you move on. And, of course, the big one, of course, winning the tournament so they can qualify for the Olympics and go and defend that gold medal. Let's take you now to Mexico. Earlier, we caught up with Bev Priestman.
Coach, important match ahead of you today. That can be a decisive one. Is there additional pressure knowing that there's a World Cup berth on the line?
I think the pressure is a privilege to, you know, go and qualify for a World Cup. It's nothing that we take for granted. I think the group are really focused, not underestimating the opponent. But we're here to get the job done today.
What can you tell us about the preparations coming in to face Panama today?
Yeah, I think we've again focused on our strengths and what we think we can do, and focused on some areas we think we can hurt them. But ultimately, our mindset, as long as our mindset's right and we bring what we know we can bring, it'll mean the world to Panama to get a result tonight. And we have to be focused and ready and know that it means more to us to qualify for this World Cup.
Not just personnel changes, but also some formation change here as well. Player one in particular played in a different spot. We'll get to that person in just a moment, although you're probably looking going, I know you're going to talk about Janine Beckie. Yes, we are. But first, as this is the starting 11 here for Canada, we have to discuss Julia Grosso. She came on as a substitute, Ollie, in that last game, gets a brace, her first 2 goals for country. And you had said, I think she's played her way onto the starting 11. So here she is in the starting 11.
Yeah, getting a chance to maybe cement it for the bigger games ahead tonight. And look, I think you can talk about a lot of things with Julia Grosso. You can talk about the passing range, the ability to be a bit more of a progressive player in midfield and often more in attack. But what I really liked about her game coming off the bench, and it's what Bev Priestman asks of her substitutes, is just there was real intensity in her game. She was running, she was snapping into tackles, she was combining with her teammates, you know, a good tempo which Canada had maybe lacked, particularly in the early stages of that second half. So she made a real difference there, gets a chance to start tonight, and I think she's got every chance of playing her way into the 11 for bigger games.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see in this one how she does starting. I think it'll be all about consistency for Julia. I mean, as a youth player, you can see she's got it. We mentioned it last game. Now that she's in a professional environment, I'm really excited to see what she does with her game. In tournaments like this, it can sometimes be a bit easier to come off the bench. You've been on the sideline, you see there's goals to be had, and you're just itching to come on. And she came on, and what a fantastic impact she had. I'm really excited to see how she does in this game, starting for Canada.
Yeah, as a starter, you also have to set that tone. Janine Beckie, again, something else that we discussed. We've seen it before in some friendlies where she played more as that wingback, looked fantastic. When she switched a little bit, again, when those substitutions were made on Tuesday, she did play a little bit wider. Her delivery, her creativity was amazing, and now we're going to see her in that position a little further down the field. What do you think of that?
I think Bev Priestman must have been watching the show when she heard what
that's
you
a
said,
given.
and that you thought Janine needed to be a bit lower on the field, give her that runway. So Bev has answered you, and we're giving Janine a bit more room. We talked about last game, she's versatile. She can be a winger, she can be an 8 in that midfield, or she can be a fullback or a wingback. Against a team like Panama, you can expect her that she's going to be a very attacking fullback, and expect to see a lot of Janine in the final third, hopefully.
And that's the thing, is that she's such a good player and such an important player to this team that she can help the team in a number of different areas. So it's not always about what's best for Janine Beckie. Sometimes it's about what's best for the team, and that can be in midfield, that can be even as almost a forward at times. But I think when you're trying to get the best out of Janine Beckie as an individual player, it's her wide play, right? It's the ability to get up and down the right-hand sides, put in fantastic service from the right, beat players one-on-one, bringing that real wide play, whether it's as a fullback like tonight or an out-and-out winger. I think that's the strength of her game, and hopefully we can see it combining maybe with Christine Sinclair, her new teammate at Portland.
I was going to say, expecting them to link up because they've now been playing together as well at the pro level.
Yes, and you would expect Sinclair to thrive on the kind of service that Beckie can provide as a fullback, right? And Ashley Lawrence on the other side as well. well. We saw Lawrence and Sinclair combine for the first goal against Trinidad, so there should be a lot of quality in the wide areas for Canada tonight. It's just about, I think you can trust Christine Sinclair to make the most of it, but also Nichelle Prince and Leon as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Nichelle on the field. I think there was, perhaps she was coming into the tournament a bit of a knock. I know she left Houston with one, but she's a player where all her teammates, everyone that watches her for the last few years has just said, Nichelle Prince. Yeah. She's exciting, and I think just a good period of time having her healthy and playing games for Canada. She's so dangerous. She's had a great season with Houston so far in the NWSL, taking a little more on her own shoulders and going after goals and taking more shots, where in the past she'd perhaps make one pass too many sometimes, but I think coming in the form she's had, I'm really excited to see her play today.
We're not that far away from kickoff. We have a minute here, but I do want to talk about Sabrina D'Angelo getting the start in net. Kaylin Sheridan was not busy whatsoever on Tuesday. A little bit surprised that Bev Priestman is making that change. I mean, we've already kind of christened her the new #1. Does this give you an indication that maybe Bev is still trying to experiment?
Yeah, not too surprised. The goalkeepers were different in this one. I think you see it a lot from coaches in a tournament where you do have 5 games. There's a plan going into the tournament that the goalkeepers are going to share games a bit. So I would expect this was the plan coming in, that Sabrina was going to get the second game. But I think in terms of who's the #1, I'm pretty sure it's still Kaylin Sheridan in Bev's eyes.
Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it. I think you want to have your second goalkeeper ready, right? Players can get injured, so you need to have that second option, and Sabrina D'Angelo looks to be that at the moment.
Well, they're coming off a nice 6-0 win over Trinidad and Tobago to start this competition. 5 different goal scorers. Julia Grosso got the brace. Are there more goals in them here tonight when they can punch a ticket to next year's World Cup? Kickoff is coming up next here on One Soccer from Mexico.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates, and analysis. And all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
The stage is set for what could be a magical night for the Canadians. A win, and they are World Cup bound. Standing in their way of another consecutive World Cup appearance is a Panama side trying to fight their way back into this competition after being on the wrong end of a dominating performance from Costa Rica as they opened their tournament. Canada, they found their offense in the second half, erupting for 5 goals and bringing in a lot of players with a renewed sense of form and confidence into this incredible opportunity for the Canucks. After climbing to the top step of the Olympic mountain, they can once again book their ticket to the World Cup and set their sights on the next task for this group. Starting 11s will be next, but first we will pause for the playing of the national anthems.
Por favor, de pie y con el debido respeto escucharemos el himno de Panamá. mucho respeto. Escucharemos ahora el himno de Canadá.
Damas y caballeros, a continuación las alineaciones del equipo.
Canada and Panama for just the third time, all-time, another all-time fixture results that favor the Canadians. Just like they had with Trinidad and Tobago, they have not lost, they have not drawn, and they have not lost, or they have not conceded, excuse me, to this Panamanian side. But let's see what Ignacio Quintana's side has in store for us today. Lots of changes as well for this group. They know their big match will be at the end as they try and fight for that Interconfederation playoff. Panamanians make 6 changes on the day with some yellow cards as well. 5 changes for Bev Priestman in Arshilin Isidore.